Rider servant dream
hmm
just before the
Today's
final
servant.
session.
Today's servant dream is brought to you by Maka. Yay!
Hey,
Okay, ready, Liam?
I'm always ready.
Okay, Maka. You open your eyes to the outside of a tent, with a curtain of silk covering the entrance. The sun beats down on you, drying the blood of execution that is staining your shirt. After such a massive time, the war which you and your kingdom has suffered has finally come to an end, in the single worst way possible. In this day there has been no glory, no triumph or victory, nothing to celebrate but the execution of the deserters, and it has been a long day. Now there is only one left who must be executed, the final and most difficult member of the opposing army. You let out a deep sigh as to try and rid yourself of some of the day's exhaustion before walking through the silk curtain to face the end of this solemn war. So you have finally come, Anda. It takes several moments for your eyes to adjust to the dim light within the tent. So for a brief moment you only see the silhouette of a fallen and broken angel, its wings laying in scraps all over the floor. After your eyes have adjusted, though, you see the angel as the enemy leader Jamuka, and what you thought was scraps of wings lying around was just a series of ropes and chains that were fastening him to the floor, as if he was some kind of wild monster. It stings your heart a little to see him disgraced in this way, but you remind yourself that he would still be in this position even if you had fought and captured him honorably. So at the very least, this is a clear sign that your people respect Jamaica's immense power. Yes, I have. It's been quite a long time since we've been able to talk face to face like this, hasn't it? You respond to him, sitting down in front of him to bring your eyes level. Now, I don't think we've ever spoken quite like this. He rattles his chains to emphasize his point, and once again the pain stings your heart. Do you expect sympathy from me, or some kind of special treatment? You lash back at him. You know how this works, Jemica. You were an enemy of mine in war. You and I went our separate ways long ago, and we built our own kingdoms. And we began fighting. You fought valiantly, and you resorted to underhanded tactics, but in the end you were defeated. Ha! Jamaica bellows out with enough force to make the chains necessary. You and I both know that I was not defeated, at least not by you. We've each defeated each other one time, and the only reason I am here now is because my own people betrayed me yet again and handed me over to you. With that, he turns his head away from you in anger, unable to meet your face. And what of them now, huh? I suppose they're going to become high-ranking members of your foolish army of shepherds, while I am simply executed without remorse. I executed them all. Your statement gives Jamek a pause, and his eyes once again return to meet yours. After all they have done is proven that they would cave into fear. The kinds of people who would sacrifice their own Khan, the person they swore their loyalty to, just to save their own skin, will never have a place in my kingdom. This blood on my shirt is the blood of those traitors. He gestured down to his blood-stained clothes. Jamaica looks somewhat taken aback by this, and after a moment hangs his head in what you can only assume to be shame. You think back on a time so long ago, before the wars and the conflicts, when you and Jamaica were simply children playing on top of the Birkenkalden, excited for what the future may hold. Tears begin to well up in your eyes, but you force yourself to remain calm and stoic, for this is not the time to grieve a lost past. Besides, if all goes well, you may well be able to return to those days, in some way. Jamuka, I have an offer. By now, you must realize the power of what you call the Shepherd's Army, just as I have realized the power of yours. The reason behind our fighting is immature at best. I see no reason why the two of us have to separate and divide our empires between us. You raise yourself up to a knee as you continue, preparing for what to come. After all, You and I were both destined for greatness, were we not? But that destiny never stated where we couldn't be equals in our own empire. So why allow our actions solely to be controlled by that destiny? Jamuka, after rising to your feet, you reach out your hand to him as a symbolic gesture. Come join my empire, and let's rule side by side as the greatest men in history, Anda. You look down to him, hoping to see him raise his head to your hand or give some indication of acceptance, but all you hear from him is a deep chuckle at your offer. Temujin, Temujin, what is this? Even after all this time, you still hold such optimism? Jamaica looks up at you with ridicule in his eye, and the tiniest twinge of annoyance finds its way inside you. Why not? After all, you were always the beaming child of the sun growing up, weren't you, Jamaica? At that, Jamaica's face becomes dull for a moment, and you can only assume that he's pondering the past just as you were. But as soon as his face but soon his face fills with something closer to acceptance than regret. Temujin, I cannot join your empire. The two of us are not meant to rule together, and doing so would only cause ruin and chaos for the kingdom you have worked so hard to build. Your heart becomes angry for a brief moment, but you know he is right. You sigh once more and sit back down in front of him, hanging your own head with grief towards the past. Why so glum, Anda? Are you still looking back on your life? Jamaica laughs once again, and you begin to feel confused before he continues. Are you not the Khan who has built his old empire off the ideals of the future? Do not hang your head in shame, for this is far from the end of your kingdom. And you say I was always the hopeful one. His laughter echoes through the tent, and for a brief moment you see the child you grew up with on the mountain sitting in front of you. But the vision quickly fades. Listen, Temujin. It was not just our difference in policies that broke us apart. Sooner or later, one of us had to overcome and surpass the other. We both thought we could rule together for a while, since we were both given a heavenly body. But we were foolish to think so. Just as there can only be one sun in the sky, there can only truly be one ruler of the world, and all of our fights up until now have simply been a contest to decide which of us it should be. I may never truly be able to come to terms with how this result came about, and part of me will always be bitter that my loss could not be decided, or that my loss couldn't decide which one of us was truly right. But in the end, this is the decision that fate has come to, and I, for one, can hardly think of a better suitor for the role. Besides myself, of course. He looks back over with a slightly cheeky glint in his eye, which is once again replaced with his seriousness. What exactly are you saying, Jamuka? That from this point on, I relinquish my gifted son to you. You feel your whole body freeze up with shock as he speaks these words. I have accepted my fate, my destiny, if you will, is to be a conquest of yours, and I humbly submit myself to your maximum punishment for the crimes I have committed against your kingdom. Furthermore, I respect you as the mightiest and most worthy person to inherit both the sun and the moon. But mark my words, Temujin, for this moment shall be far from a simple footnote in your empire's history. I won't allow myself to be just one of the many victories you will have under your belt. You have bested the Gur Khan, and as such have surpassed the title of Universal Ruler. So let this be the turning point in your life, the moment in which you go from a single powerful Khan to the mightiest Khan in all of history, the Khan of all Khans, the Genghis Khan. The shock leaves your system as soon as he says that, and you suddenly realize what he's doing. You can't help but chuckle a little, that even now he's still trying to ensure his life wasn't going to go to waste. You always were the ambitious one, weren't you, Wanda? You think to yourself, before straightening yourself up and getting to your feet. If that is your decision, Jamuka, then I have no choice but to punish you for your crimes against me and my kingdom. And the only punishment worthy of such crimes is death. However, you have proven yourself valiant and respectable as both a Khan and a warrior. So in the eternal name of Genghis Khan, I shall allow your death to remain a private matter. So you shan't be shamed by the public. Also, to honor the gift that you've given me, I shall grant you a single wish upon your deathbed. So choose now and speak. For any wish of yours that can be granted, no, for any wish of yours can be granted by my power above all powers. That's more like it, Genghis! Jamaica jumps up in joy as much as the chains will allow him, as you begin your transformation into the grand ruler of the world. As for my wish, I simply wish to die an honorable death, one where my blood does not spill and soil the ground below. That is your wish? Then it shall be! You're taken aback for a brief moment at the simplicity of his request, but nonetheless you sheath your sword and begin to approach him, circling around to his back. You grab both his arms and place your knee directly into his spine, in preparation to snap it in half. One last thing, Anda. Jamaica speaks up once more before you're able to finalize the execution. Do not grieve for my loss, or the past anymore. The past is glorious, for it has led to the present, and it shall lead to your future. And I promise you, my spirit shall carry on, and the seeds of your seed shall forever be protected by my own hands, so I shall always be a part of you. I will guide you when you are lost, Temujin, and your victories, and you, and shall, blah, sorry, and your victories, you shall be victorious and safe by my hands. Why did that take so long for me to read? Sorry. I will guide you when you are lost, and you shall be victorious and safe by my hands. Are you sure you want that, Anda? I've had quite a lot of seeds out there, and I plan to have way more than before my life is over.
Oh no.
Well then, looks like I'm going to have quite the busy afterlife, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The both of you burst out into a bellowing laughter that echoes from the inside of your tent, out
About
and
that
around
threat.
the kingdom that you have made. After a brief moment, you both go silent, and you utter one final phrase to your friend and blood brother. Thank you, Anda, you say as you pull back and push deep into his spine until the sound of cracking bone signals the start of the rest of your life as the mighty Genghis Khan. And you wake up. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, stopping
mean,
recording
it's-
now.